Hey, Kyle Querec here, and welcome to Music Minded. Today, we're going to talk about that vocal that we talked about last week. From Stroll Over Heaven, the vocalist is Glosson. Last week, we talked about the tracking, what microphone we use, the mic pre, and the tracking compressor. When you have a chain and a vocalist really as good as we had, we were fortunate. Sometimes you're not that fortunate, but we had really great gear. We had a great vocalist. So now going into the box, it makes the job, man, so much easier. Having said that, the hardest job is not screwing it up. You'll hear the difference. You'll hear the dry vocal. And in case you never see me again, it's because Mr. Glosson killed me, that I'm actually going to play this for you. We're going to play the dry vocal, untreated, with that vocal chain going in the box. And then we're going to play for you treated with some reverb, compression, EQ, little delay. Not that much at all. So let's take a listen. Here's the dry vocal. You may never see me again. Here we go.
I wanna stroll over heaven with you some glad day, where all of my heartaches and troubles will vanish away.
Incredible vocal, and it's dry as sand. It's right in your face, but you can tell, obviously, that he's a wonderful singer, but that the treatment and I think the vocal microphone and our ideas about how we wanted to make this vocal work was like, okay, we got a really good starting point. Let's not screw it up. And here's the treatment. And I'm going to look to my right here. The first thing that we did, we make sure that we always have Waves NLS on all our tracks, and that's just to simulate a desk. And shockingly enough, there's either the Neve, EMI, or SSL. I am not an SSL guy. Love some of the records done at SSL, uses an SSL, but I like a little more low-mid Neve kind of feel. Having said that, I use the SSL emulation. Then it goes into the Sonics, EQ, and as you can see, it's mainly all subtractive. There's hardly any EQ where you're boosting a little in the highs, which is pretty remarkable. That's all the EQ we used on this vocal. That's, to me, is still astounding. Then we use the 1176 black. Usually I use the blue stripe, but I use the black because we had enough saturation and bigness. Again, these are CLA compressors from Waves, and we went to the Waves LA2A, and again, just a little on each of those, and then we finished it off with a de-esser, which is just the Pro Tools de-esser, which worked fine. Then we went to the other flip side. Stay with me. And this is quick. If we were doing a pop dance track, there'd be 97 of these plugins. The first plugin we used on the reverb was a chamber, and it's the same reverb I believe we used on the drums and everything else. Just a little bit of that reverb, Capital Chambers, a Hall reverb emulation. Lexicon, I love the sound of Lex, I always will. And then we followed it up with a J37 tape delay, very subtle, kind of like the Lennon slap from A Day in the Life. What is this plugin? RX delay. I don't know what brand that is, I'm sorry. But it's kind of a ping pong delay. That's what we used on the vocal on Stroll Over Heaven. The artist is Glosson. Please have a listen. We really love doing this track. It's very, very delicate. We hope you enjoyed listening to it. Thank you for joining us. We're going to see you next week, and we're going to talk about how we treated the whole mix and our analog chain to give it some real joy and life. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Querec. Have a great day.
I wanna stroll over heaven with you some glad day, where all of my heartaches and troubles will vanish away.